Till the bar lights
I'm like,
come
what
on.
happened the first day?
Like, yikes.
All right, we have just gone live,
Oh, nice.
and
All
it's
right.
going to be fun. We
Yeah.
Very
have
live.
Eddie and Marti Krink. Congratulations on Florida AIDS Walk. How much did y'all raise
Thank
so
you.
far?
Oh my God, we're just over 200,000. Our goal is 250, but
Awesome.
internally I want to get to 500. So
Yeah, let's get it.
500K.
Money, money, money.
Great,
That's awesome.
and you have until May 30th
May
to
31st,
donate.
yeah.
Go to Florida AIDS Walk and donate for SAFE.
That's right.
And Chef Josie's with us, or DJ Snack, Lady Snack Daddy.
alter ego.
Which person has showed up here tonight? Yeah.
It's a hybrid.
Hybrid, right? And Faye was
That's
here.
me.
And Faye has David's counterpart from Happening Out.
Hey,
Dot
hey.
Travel.
Dot
And we have
Travel,
Gabriel
That.
here.
Hi, Gabriel.
You're gonna love him.
You are.
Well, good evening, America, and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. It's 8 p.m., Wednesday, April 28, 2021. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and let's get this started right away by meeting tonight's host. First up, this is Faye What? She's a radio personality and has the popular blog and YouTube channel aiming to unite the L and the G together. She's a hostess and MC for many South Florida events and is the anchor of the Happening Out travel news show, Happening Out Travel. Welcome, Faye.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm so happy to be here at this table tonight.
Woo!
Yes.
Fun. This is another longtime host, Chef Josie. Of course, you know her. She is a Bravo TV top chef and the master of the popular champagne and oyster celebration restaurant, Bubbles and Pearls, right there in the heart of Wilton's famous Wilton Drive. She is also known as her alter ego DJ Lady Snack Daddy, performing Sunday and Monday nights now at Cubs and Hunters in Wilton Manors. Welcome, Chef Josie.
All right, thank you. Let's get them beats bumping right now. All right, guys.
Next up is Eddie Marti Kring, and he is currently serving as the field and community organizer for SAVE, Safeguarding American Values for Everyone. And that is South Florida's longest serving LGBTQ civil rights advocacy organization. Good evening, Eddie.
Hey, Al, thank you so much for having me.
It's going to be fun. And first time at It's Happening Out is Gabriel Pabon. With over 28,000 YouTube subscribers and over 13,000 Instagram followers, braggart, by the way, he is the owner of GMP Wear FTM, packing underwear, the only affordable underwear that come already packed, designed for trans and non-binary people. It was started in April 2019, and he set them apart by designing for trans and non-binary people. His brand GMP Wear represents get more, proud, be more proud. Welcome, Gabriel, your first appearance.
Nice to meet you guys. It's good. I'm literally the guy that puts the bulge in your underwear. So
Wait,
it's nice
David,
to be here.
He's certainly putting a bulge in mine.
Okay. All right, very good. Oh, very good. Next up, let's welcome David Hopkins. David is very involved in the South Florida community and is an officer for the Lambda Men's Brotherhood, a local 501c3 that raises funds in the community for organizations in need. He is also the co-host with Faye at Happening Out Travel's news travel show. Welcome, David.
Hey, Faye's like my travel life mate now.
Yeah, y'all are like kissing cousins, though, right?
Less kissing, more cousin.
Okay. That's good. Exactly true. Faye just went. All right. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So good evening, America. We are the first and most popular live LGBTQ talk show in the world. We're closing in on 3 years. So much to talk about next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, you're watching a live and unedited LGBTQ talk show, so anything can happen. And with this crew, as I look around the kitchen table, it probably is going to. If you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and click the bell for updates. On Facebook, like and share the video. Let's begin, as we always begin at It's Happening Out, with a unique meme of the week. It's called, I haven't seen this one, What He Looks Like, on Grindr versus Instagram. Yes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah.
Is that Caitlyn Jenner?
No, those are both Channing Tatum.
Oh,
Can we
that's when
see
he
that?
did the Beyonce.
Yeah.
Production,
which was-
can we see that meme one more second? Can you? Oh man.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Eddie, is that your Grindr experience?
You know, sometimes, what are you going to do? You just take it as it comes, apparently.
Takes it.
Well,
I won't go there.
Wait a minute.
I believe they call that catfishing.
Thank
So,
you.
so there's a queen here in South Florida who I always see on Grindr, and she is absolutely beautiful as a queen. She looks like Ariana Grande. And then you see her like looking street on Grindr, super sexy, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, yes, Calypso, I'm talking about you.
Right.
All
All right.
right.
Whoa.
Wow, the shade.
As I think about
That's a
that-
good thing.
As I think about that story, who needs a drink? I know I do.
Oh, come on.
So let's play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That. Gabriel, welcome to It's Happening Out, and we ask you immediately, will you swallow this?
Oh, my
I will.
goodness.
Right?
Twist his arm,
Right.
right? Like, no, he's like, sure.
Wow, that happened in a hot second, didn't
Very
it?
generous.
Escalated quickly.
Very giving.
All right, well,
Spoil
we
you guys.
invite you at home to play right along with us. Have something with you as I ask these hosts 4 questions. If they agree with the question, they pick up the shot. We're doing vodka tonight, and they will take the shot. If they disagree, well, believe me, it's going to be a long night for me. So, everybody ready?
Yes.
Then let's play I'd Swallow That. Question number 1. I'd swallow that. Did you know the District of Columbia is the highest percentage of LGBTQ in America? And therefore, I support statehood. What do you think about DC being a state?
I'm wondering if those statistics include the closet Republicans.
Oh, good call. It must.
It must.
And no taxation without representation. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
going to tax American citizens, they need representation.
They got attacked by Trump, but they didn't get to vote for him.
Ah,
You know?
that's
Yeah.
tough.
January 6th and never voted for him.
I had a conversation with somebody online, and I was doing the numbers with minimum wage, and Guam is paid more minimum wage than Florida, but they're not even. It's
Yeah,
just
they're a
territory.
territory.
I was flabbergasted. I was like, "Are you serious? Because we're making like 8 something, they're making 9 something." I'm like, that's
Yep.
crazy.
Guam, American Samoa, they tend to have decent wages, but they get taxed, but they don't.
Are y'all surprised
Yeah.
that the District of Columbia has the highest percentage of LGBT in America?
I learned that here on this show back in January when we had reported that, and I couldn't believe it because they don't have a lot of gay places there, as in bars and stuff like that. But there's that many of us there.
Yeah, it's called congressional offices.
That's what they call it there. That's the
As,
happy
as
hour.
Eddie knows, being a legislative advocate, he knows how it's done. All right.
know?
Well,
Let's
statehood.
not out anyone tonight.
Yeah,
Howard,
right,
okay?
exactly.
That's another
I want to do this
show.
research. There's so many places claiming to have the most gays. I just want to see who's.
Eddie wants to do the research.
Yeah.
Okay? That research entails, all right?
Like the
Fence
Census
that one, I'll
Bureau.
go with
Yeah.
you,
Oh,
okay?
I love that. It's
Exactly.
on the show. It's
Like the Census Bureau, we've just learned that Eddie wants to hand count every single gay. Well,
I'd like to do my part.
yeah, exactly.
Does that mean Congress is the new trade center?
Right, right, exactly. All right, let's move on. Question number 2. I'd swallow that. New York Pride, NYC Pride, Pride Island. I've been twice. I love it.
Whoop, whoop.
Returns. They've announced in June it's returning.
Yay.
But we think it should be in person, not digital. What do you think about that? Are they too conservative?
It's never going to be the same. It'll never have the same impact as you meeting people there. Once it's online, you're very distant from each other.
We
But-
just had the AIDS walk over the weekend, and there was a ton of us, right, Jose? There was a lot of us there, and well, you were there as well. I'm sorry, Eddie. And everybody was safe. you know, and everybody wore their masks and everybody was social distance. I mean, people who were vaccinated were with people who were vaccinated, and it was okay.
That's right. And to your point, I think this is a great opportunity to see vaccinations, really plug vaccinations, maybe even have a vaccination site there, and really still encourage mask wearing, because we know that not everybody has been fully vaccinated. And go from
Pride
there.
Island is a legendary
Yes.
LGBTQ party. Why are they moving so slowly in terms of?
I mean,
Maybe
come
they're
on. I think we have to be honest with ourselves. You know, the amount of people who will end up arriving in New York City, they're already dealing with a pandemic. They're still trying to rebound themselves. It may not work for them logistically, because you saw at AIDS Walk, you know, all of the precautionary measures that they took. You know, to be able to implement that at a New York City Pride, the kind of money that, you know, there's money is needed in many different areas of the city right now. And I don't know if like gay pride is the, like, you know, first thing on the priority list.
And like
you know?
Lucy said, I mean, they don't want to do it half-assed. You understand? When you think of a pride in the United States, you think of San Francisco or New York. You just do, okay? And so they don't want to do it half-assed. They want to do it right. So maybe that's the extra precaution.
I would be remiss if I didn't say we had the big announcement this week. We did the live breaking news on it that Stonewall Pride, not Stonewall, New York, Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors Stonewall Pride is coming back. We are going to be, by the way, we're going to be broadcasting the parade live down Wilton Drive, right in front of your restaurant on June 19th. So apparently we don't have the same attitude here in South Florida.
You know, I think-
we're ready.
South Florida is built for
That's
outdoor
not new,
activity.
Al.
New York City is built for indoor activity. So while they could maybe have one event in New York City, so many of the events people get used to, the crowds would be looking for, wouldn't be able to safely run. Whereas South Florida, everything's outside.
So, so to recap, we all took the shot because we think it should be a virtual, or it should be a live event, but we understand
It's a
why
real
it's
world.
digital event. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, well that makes sense. Let's move on. Question number 3. I'd swallow that. Trans billionaire. I didn't even know until this week there was a trans billionaire.
I did not know
Get that
either.
number.
I'm like, that's not me, so I don't know.
I'd love to be her friend.
Sugar
Yes.
baby.
Trans billionaire Jennifer Pritzker may move out of Tennessee over the anti-LGBT laws. Boycotts work. Do we think boycotts work? Oh, wow. There's a universal agreement. Oh, wait. Our trans guy is...
I don't, only because I know that me being in a position like that, you're one less person. Well, they're what, billionaire? Millionaire? So they're a little more important than I am. But if I were to boycott anything at all, they're just like, oh, okay, well, one less problem out of the way, you know? So that's
Not really
what
paying
I'm like,
attention.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think you're cutting yourself
Perspective,
short.
because that's a
I don't
trans
know. It's, but it
perspective.
is,
Yeah.
though.
As opposed to an overall LGBTQ perspective or businesses. Coca-Cola and other businesses are boycotting and are threatening the potential of boycott. The NCAA on trans sports has said, which has caused function change just on the threat. It doesn't mean that trans people have to do it, because your point is the voice is not strong enough.
Yeah.
But the control of your rights and decision making will have many businesses say, no, this is not right. This is a civil rights issue, and so therefore we stand with you.
I stand with what I say only because I think that in America, money is more important than the dignity of people. That's why. And I see it like
I
firsthand.
hate that.
I want to point out that
Because
the world.
trans people,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't want to
No, go
interrupt,
ahead.
but trans people, we make up what, 1%? So if 1% of us is boycotting, they're all about the money. That means you're getting 99% of that money still. So that, 1%, okay, go to a different state.
But I like what she's doing, though. And it's not just her, Jennifer, just standing up herself and moving. She's moving a whole company, Gabriel, okay? So she's hitting them where it hurts, which is the pocket. A lot of these people
Which is
don't
what the
listen to
NCAA
our
is
voice.
doing.
A lot of people don't listen to our voices. They don't give an S about us. But all of a sudden, they'll take note when you're messing with their pocket. It's the truth.
But at the same time, everything is online.
Yeah.
You can she can move her whole business to another state, and those same people that are buying it are just going to go online and not in person, or there's always going to be a way.
Any other thoughts?
I just want to point out that you say you don't have much of a voice. You've got 13,000 followers on Instagram. They support you. They follow you. You have a very big voice because social media runs the world right now.
Yeah.
Money runs off social media runs the world.
Yep.
Look at 1 Million Moms, which is really like 3 old biddies who live in a basement or something.
Three
But-
old white men.
Yeah, but they have a huge voice because they know how to work social media.
Yeah.
Your voice is a lot more powerful than I think you realize.
Yeah.
I'd be really curious to see what else beyond moving, they're going to take on, because obviously there's the financial resources, and we know that there's a need for investment in organizations like SAVE. If I may for a moment, there aren't too many organizations taking on the grassroots mobilization work that actually leads to getting voters knocking on their doors, telling them, hey, there's an election coming up on April 11th. Most people don't know that there's anything other than the presidential election. So I really would love to
Friend,
see.
it sounds like you have a phone call to make in the morning.
I did.
You know what I mean? It's like, let's not sit on that one.
Can I reveal a little secret about SAVE? Eddie, as a community organizer and responsible at SAVE, in 30 years of advocacy for me in the LGBTQ community in so many different ways, RuPaul, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Eddie sent me a text saying, we're going into Coral Gables and we're going to knock on doors. Can you join us? You were the first person ever in history in the LGBTQ community that asked me to come into the community and knock on a door, ever. Congratulations.
Thank you. I wear that
to
as a badge of
and
honor.
SAVE.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I mean
next
that.
weekend in May, we're all going and it's in North Miami, so
Yeah,
it's
okay.
close. I'll be texting
And by
you
the way,
again.
before we move to question 4, Gabriel, can I give you a little advice since this is your first hosting gig at It's Happening Out?
Of course.
Never, ever again apologize for interrupting, because if you don't interrupt, we are going to crush you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, these
Yeah.
guys interrupt
Right.
all the time.
All right, question number 4. Question 4. I'd swallow that. Big news, probably the #1 news in the world about LGBT this weekend, or this week rather. Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor, and that's good for the LGBTQ community. Well, so we have some
Caitlyn Jenner.
is running for governor.
So
Is that
frankly, I did not agree.
is
but
that
was
the
hard to swallow.
same
Kardashian.
Kardashian that endorsed Donald Trump and supported him? So
Yes. You want to Google it real quick, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you a few minutes to read up real
is she
quickly.
a Democrat or a Republican?
No.
She's
See,
a
honey, she's a Republican.
Great.
Okay.
She's running her
Alright.
campaign very
Do
gray
we start
area.
all over now that Gabriel's up to
Oh
date?
my God.
Gabriel,
I think this is the
literally,
worst
this
idea
is new
ever.
for me. In almost 3 years, I've never seen a host's eyes roll back up in their head.
It went. My eyes went all the way back, like 360.
Look, folks, that was so hard to swallow. I had to just swallow it. I
This
don't
is-
think it's good for the LGBTQ community.
Explain your drink.
You just
took the
wanted a
shot,
drink.
I needed, after that headline,
okay.
I needed a shot. I needed a shot.
Right?
I'm just happy that Caitlyn's running as a Republican. I think the Republicans definitely
Deserve her.
deserve her.
Yeah.
Thank you. You read my mind. And, in terms of what's good for the LGBT community, I think what's good for the LGBTQ community is having people and leaders who represent what it means to love yourself in your community. And I think if you're supporting anti-LGBTQ lawmakers, you're not really on the same side that I think the most of us are. Not to other people, but I think it's clear who is for our equality and who's fighting to make sure that our youth feels ostracized and that there's genital checks by doctors, or that if you talk to a counselor, that gets us close, even though it may not be safe for you at home. So clearly, this is a very interesting.
It's an interesting observation. I'm fanatical over Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow, as opposed to Caitlyn Jenner, in Florida's horrible bill that they were considering in terms of genital check for children in sports. Rachel Maddow said, kind of in thought bubble, said, I wonder if all of the straight people living that are parents of their 11-year-old daughter realize that they are going to be exposed to the humiliation of a genital check also.
Right. Right.
I don't think
It
they are.
never dawned on
No,
them.
I don't think they are.
This stupid law that you're trying to pass
Right.
affects everybody,
Every
not
kid.
just the suspicion that you are trans. everybody.
We know what this is about. This is about these kind of laws are rallying up the base, and they have nothing to do with taking care of people.
That's right.
Nope.
It's
Exactly.
nothing.
And really, listen, recently I just heard Rick Santorum giving a speech at the American League of whatever.
Oh, sorry to hear
I
that.
know. I don't know why I was
Why were
watching
you-
it. I
oh.
really
You were
know.
bored.
Yeah, I was
There was
like,
nothing better to do.
I always want to know what the devil's thinking. But anyways,
Pornhub wasn't working for you? What happened?
Rick Santorum. That also promotes all kinds of.
there you already know where we're going with this. Don't judge me, guys.
Right. That
Affirming.
ship sailed.
Affirming space.
No, but what he was saying was basically that there was no Native American history, and to take it off of, I don't want to take it off subject, but he says that there's no Native American history, and he started to reinstate his belief that the United States is built on freedom of our religious liberty. Okay, what we're seeing right now, and I said it during during Trump's 4 terrible years, is that we're seeing Handmaid's Tale come to life. And you guys, and I think it's really important for us to be very, very, very in touch with that, because we are basically spoon-fed what is coming through our media.
Right.
And if you think that this is just a play with our civil liberties, this is not a play with our civil liberties. This is a full-on attack on our civil liberties.
Right.
And like Al said, this is not just about LGBTQ kids. The moment that bill passes, they come after your kids too.
That's right.
So for everyone who's listening and you're not LGBT, you don't you don't relate or you don't fall under the LGBTQ plus, okay, you need to understand this is like beyond just our community. This is all of us in the same boat, and our civil liberties being attacked.
Absolutely.
So I took the shot, and I think it is good that she's running for governor. Not because I think it could be good if she wins. I think the Republican Party has gone so far right, so socially conservative, they've lost their rudder. She is a fiscally conservative, socially liberal. Wasn't always the case, but after she got booed out of a Trump rally, she kind of realized how bad the Republican Party was. She's very much politically how a lot of my family in New England is. And if it can take a high-profile person to help steer the Republican Party back to a place where they will support civil liberties and identities and issues, then I'm glad she's getting the attention. Do I agree with her politics? Not at all. But it's helping right that rudder and make it so we actually have reasonable parties in Washington again instead of crazy versus crazy.
Let's move out of I'd Swallow That. But David, I'm going to ponder that a lot, because I'm going to think this evening that basically you're suggesting that Caitlyn Jenner be tied to the rudder of the Republican Party, and so we're going to put her in the water, and she's actually going to be the rudder of
Well,
the
her age,
Republican
it's
Party.
important to moisturize.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Wow.
Okay. Well, let's move on. At It's Happening Out, we like to bring attention to the LGBTQ community of the best thing of the week. And the question of the year, are you listening, Eddie? Carefully.
Listening. I'm here.
Gabriel, you're listening carefully? The question of the year is not about COVID, pride parades returning, or anything that you may think. It's actually about older white gay men dating 21-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
At
Wow,
least-
it's like your world, Al.
At least that's what I'm told. That's what I'm told.
What do we?
Wait, you beat me to the joke, babe. All right. So the best thing of the week is called, what's the difference between LGBTQ Gen Z versus LGBTQ millennials? Watch this.
21-year-old. With the booty scrub line?
Yeah, I think that he might be the one. What? What's the problem? You don't like him?
How do I say this? Your boyfriend's outdated.
It's like he learned how to be gay from a 1999 episode of Sex and the City. Wait, how can it be outdated? He's 21 years old. He smokes cigarettes.
He called me a fat Kmart clothes.
He threw a vodka soda in my face just because I said that Gottmik should have been in the bottom last week.
How do you even get a vodka soda at the park?
Right? He's sassy and femme, and he cares about fashion.
I love femme, but I don't like mean.
You're femme and mean.
They're my friends. He's not my friend.
He's coming to drop off my charger. Quick, act young. TikTok?
Babe.
Hey, fish queefs.
Hi, baby.
Hi. Here's your Android charger. Yucky.
Cute outfit.
I know. I like yours too. It's the vintage Sears for me. We love a curvy queen.
It's Old Navy.
So, who do you guys think is gonna win the finale?
Rose or Simone, obviously. I mean, they have the most amount of. But I'd be happy with anyone.
Well, I should get going. I'm headed to a soft ass meeting.
Soft as what?
Soft ass meeting? Turn up the miracle ear, Grandma. Sorry, my K is wearing off.
My place later?
Period. Not me leaving already. Not me leaving right now. Not.
Oh my. Well, it's the TikTok for me. Period.
What do y'all think? Age differences, does it matter in the LGBTQ community?
Do you guys
laugh
talk
in
much
my
during
head.
sex?
I mean, in which part of our community, okay? Because I don't know what it is, but I seem to be attracting the 30-year-olds of the LGBTQ community.
Bring that down 10 years, bitch. Hi, Josie.
They're
30-year-olds. Yeah, right.
You know TikTok?
You know,
I know.
around it.
I just am so cool, I guess. I don't
Okay.
know. But I don't know if it's the same because it looks different, you know, in the boy world and the girl world. And
It does.
how does it look in trans world?
It-
Like,
honestly-
are there sugar babies, sugar daddies, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the cis gay white men that want me. Like my Instagram is like 30 every day, 30 some messages. Just
Al, stop
hey,
blowing
what-
up his Instagram.
I saw him
bro.
there.
But
Actually,
he's still
I
not
saw him.
my
I'm like,
Facebook friend request.
Wow. Must be at the cap, right? No more.
that's
5K,
it. That's it.
you're
That's it.
out.
That's it.
75.
75?
Yeah, 75K.
I want to say that, the difference between like the two generations. Like I'm 31. I'm not that young. You know. Like
Excuse me, as a
But-
36-year-old, you're very young.
oh snap, my bad.
No.
My bad. But no, being 30, I think that I attract a younger generation, but I don't think people know how old I really am. But I want to say that the trans people my age are, they're very, very, very easily offended. And I think that the younger people are kind of less, but they have more of a voice that they want to be like, oh, we want to make it so easy for you, easy for you. But then the older people, like my generation, will ask me things. I don't want to offend you. Oh, I don't want to do this. But I'm like, just talk to me regular. It's fine. You know, that's the one thing that, like,
You know,
all of my messages.
for me, and it's a joke, you know, and we have a lot of jokes. I'm pretty active in the community. I mean, I am pretty active in the community. But yeah,
Active last night.
but it is very funny to me.
that's
People that
activity.
do not, Gen Zers, sometimes millennials, but Gen Zers, especially the very youngest adults in our community, they don't realize when they speak to me or we're talking in a bar or whatever, and they ask me, literally, I have been asked 25 times, have you ever heard of TikTok? And it's like, child, who do you think you're talking to? and it is this attitude in the very youngest in our community of making an assumption that I don't know where they come from, this entitlement of assumption, but it's very interesting, which is what Henry, he's a very funny comedian.
It might come from a lot of older folks in their lives, always asking them, how do we operate this device?
Oh,
I'm gonna get on TikTok. How do I do
TikTok.
that?
TikTok.
How do I get on
The face-
TikTok?
I'm not sure, but I think I have an entire production team. Would you find out if I just got shaded?
No.
I don't know, Al. You need to adjust your Facebook settings again.
No shade, but I will say, I think in terms of age difference mattering, yeah, I think life experience also matters, because you can be 40 dating another 45 or 50-year-old,
Yeah.
and maybe the life experience and the way in which you process the world, you know, one person is more thoughtful, more present, and the other person that's similar to age just isn't very present, very aware.
Yeah.
And then I think with being younger, typically you've lived a little bit less, but not always the case, right? There's some folks that go through a lot early on, and you have to evolve. So I think as long as people go into whatever relationship they're taking on, kind of like with the full realities before us, and realize, look, we're trying to make something work, and I think communication is key. There's big differences in perspectives and age stages, and life stages rather, in age.
Yeah.
If you're having fun, you're having fun.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know.
All right. Well,
about that?
that's what we think is the best thing of the week. Next, let's move on to our segment that is called What's on Your Mind. Each host is getting ready to tell us in just 30 seconds what is important to them this week. But remember, it's got to be in just 30 seconds, or you're going to hear what I affectionately call the Faye Bell. Oh my
God.
Hey.
Oh, how I hate that
And
freaking
in honor
bell.
of that, let's start with
my
Faye
God.
what? And I'm
Faye
looking-
what? Oh, I'm trying to just remember not to kill the white guy, not to kill the white guy.
He's on our side today.
Let's talk about feet, people. So let's talk about feet. Feet are beautiful, right? Feet are fun during sex, right? Pretty feet, clean feet. Pedicure feet. This is to you boys too. I was at the AIDS walk on Saturday. There was a lot of people in chancletas that should not be in chancletas. If you don't know what a chancleta is, ask your favorite Latino. It's a sandal. Right? So, so that's all I gotta say. You could be this beautiful girl. I saw this gorgeous girl. Pam, boom, beautiful, right? I won't tell you what her shirt said, right? Then you looked under her feet and they were just jammed, like a mess. Like she hadn't gotten a pedicure in forever. Like they would need a sandblaster to fix that. Don't do that, man, because you got me all turned on and then ploop.
There were so
reminded me
many
of
words
Eddie.
that I've
Talking about
never
Trina?
heard used in the
Horrible.
English language.
Lots
But
of
thank you.
adjectives.
That's
I
like
love
an Eddie
that.
Murphy stand-up.
And
Roasting
Chef
everybody.
Josie, what's on your mind this week?
Oh man, what's on my mind? I'm gonna tell you guys, listen, for all you pet owners out there, I don't know about you, but I recently just lost my puppy of 13 years. And listen, life is life. And then that just gives me the inspiration to go out there and get another puppy and go rescue another animal and like give them some love. Because listen, we're all coexisting on this planet right now. And quite frankly, I got one little one who keeps slipping out the back fence, and I'm gonna let her stay gone.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
And Eddie Marti Kring, what's on your mind
Gosh,
this week?
well, sorry for your loss. I can relate. And you know what's on my mind is love. I think there's so much work for us to do in our communities to just not only heal the trauma in our own lives, but broader community traumas. And what's on my mind is how, as a community, we're going to get past all of that and find commonalities between us, whether we're gay, straight, bi, whatever your sexual orientation is, and say to us, we've learned the lessons from the past, now let's move forward and let's create vibrant, thriving communities.
Excellent. And Gabriel Pabon, what's on your mind this week?
I want to say that, first off, the Mortal Kombat movie was awesome. I don't care what anybody has to say. People are talking smack about it. It was a great movie. Just watch it. Also, my underwear, I did have samples made for my swim trunks, which are going to come out next month. So be on the look on that.
Cool.
GMPwearonline.com. And one more thing that I have on my mind is I do a one-man parade in Wilton Manor, and I literally am in my underwear with a sign like, trans pride. So if you guys want to come, you can come, because I'm always solo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like one naked guy walking down the street with a sign.
And you have to wear
so
underwear, Eddie?
I have to wear underwear.
City code,
I think I might go to
apparently.
jail, but you can wear it too.
Excellent. And
I can
David,
wear it too.
I don't go to the
can
gym as
too.
often as you do.
pasties?
You might have a bulge.
You would walk down Wilton Drive in a trans support parade in pasties.
Hell
I
yeah.
just got new boobs. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a perfect
I didn't
show that.
It
Wait,
is.
I wasn't
That's all you
looking-
heard from everything was my boobs and pasties. Dirty white old man gets you in there even though you're gay, right? Wow, that no me salió eso.
Wow.
He said, wah, 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 wah.
Pasties.
Wow. All right. And David Hopkins, what's on your mind this week?
So to start with, like Faye, I love feet, but I'm a fat man. Sometimes I like to be able to scoop a fish out of the river with my claws. But that being said, what's been on my mind is bubbles, okay? We all live in our bubbles, and I think part of Gen Z, they live in this bubble where they're sheltered from a lot of the pain, even though they're experiencing it. Community in general is supporting our younger community members, but they're not teaching them about the hardships as much. So they're in this bubble of idealism. A lot of the older crowd is in this bubble of hatred and trauma. And we need to learn to enjoy our bubbles and the safety they give us, but also to reach outside of them.
Wow.
Powerful.
Isn't that an anthem call in our community here in South Florida?
Yeah.
We definitely live in a bubble. All right. Well, that's what's on their mind this week. Next up, let's catch up with the news from Hollywood and the world of entertainment. We call it our celebrity hot topic of the week. And have you heard? Disney's Pixar Studios has started a casting call for a trans actress from 12 to 17 years old. The reason why is our celebrity hot topic of the week. History is made as Pixar is casting a trans actress for the first ever authentic upcoming trans character. What do y'all think?
Cool.
I think it's going to stir the pot, and a lot of people are going to be angry. But
Why?
I think
People are always angry about something.
If it's not how it was before, they're gonna be like, we're
No,
gonna
I think
boycott
the
this
opposite.
movie.
I think that because it's a trans role and it's going to be played by a trans actress, I think it fits perfectly, and our community is going to embrace it. And kudos to Pixar for having the cojones to go and say, we want a trans actress to play this role. And I wish Jazz, you guys know Jazz from I Am Jazz, I wish she was like 15 years younger so she could play this, you know? Sorry if I made her older.
She wishes
Sorry.
she was 15 years
Right,
older.
like, oh my God.
The only reason why I say that is because you know the movie Finding Dory?
Yeah.
They had a lesbian couple, and guess what? People had a heart attack.
And people
It's about
And it was,
it's about
and
a
it was the
village.
#1 movie for I don't know how many weeks, Gabriel. So let them talk.
Gabriel, you know, and another thing too, and not to be ganging up on you tonight. It's happening out,
I'm
okay?
just like, oh my God.
I mean, wait a minute.
It's fine. I like being ganged up on this. Okay.
I am all about it today.
No, yeah.
Let me tell you.
Dear
I
Mrs.
love it.
What? Watch
No,
out
but
when you get
listen,
home.
this is the other thing you have to know. In all the history of our community, we make people angry. We then, through that anger, create awareness. And in that awareness, then you open your eyes, your heart, your mind. That's what we're doing here. And if it makes you angry at first, it's okay. That might be your low vibration.
Do anything. They make themselves angry. We are free and liberated from their anger on our own through fighting hard for our civil rights. So I think it's great.
It's very interesting, Gabriel's reaction, because in looking at this story in advance, it's not that Gabriel's saying that this is not a great story.
Sure.
That's not what he's saying.
No.
But I think it's interesting that he puts a light tap on the brakes about what's getting ready to happen.
Sure.
And we're all going, well, fuck that. We're going to create a pride parade around the Pixar studio. The one thing that's really important here is don't shed a tear over this choice. We love the history of it, but we're talking Pixar.
I love it.
It is the greatest animation studio in the history of the world. And by the way, that is a division of the Walt Disney Company, which is the greatest entertainment company in the world. They know exactly what they're doing.
And the largest employer of LGBTQ.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's really fantastic news for sure. Well, that's our discussion of entertainment. Next, we report that Happening Out Television Network tries our best to support our LGBTQ community. An example is the Sunshine Cathedral. We're going to go from trans and Pixar to church.
It's not really that far.
This is the world. That's true. The world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set here in supporting that partnership. The network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ religious broadcast in the world, with more than 30,000 watching every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's totally live. And if you haven't done it in a long time, we encourage you to tune in and see what's happening here. Our campaign of sponsorship proudly supports Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
It's Rachel Maddow and Sunshine Cathedral. That is my queer church.
It's so cute. We love her. She was fun. All right. We'd also like to thank our set designer, Conceptomod and Living here in Fort Lauderdale, for making this set in this amazing queer church campus possible. And finally, we thank It's Happening Out's hotel sponsor, Best Western, I-95 Fort Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive. You can be at Chef Josie's restaurant in minutes. Our host and our guests stay at this LGBTQ ally partner. We encourage you to stay here when you're visiting South Florida. Well, up next, if we were standing around the LGBTQ water cooler, this, which we haven't done in a long time, by the way, because of pandemic, but if we were, this is what we would all be talking about. We refer to it as the hot topic of the week. And of course, the number one topic in the world is tonight. President Biden addresses a joint session of Congress. And can I say, for the first time ever, 2 women will be in view standing behind him.
Woo!
Historic, never seen before. Tomorrow is the first line in the sand of the next 4 years. It marks 100 days tomorrow. The hot topic of the week, of course, then, is the LGBTQ community reacts to Biden's first 100 days. What do y'all think?
That man has been busy.
Yeah.
He has been busy, and it helps me sleep better at night. It helps me move forward with the plans that I had for my business prior to pandemic. It helps me move forward with my relationships, starting to heal those relationships we had those political differences during the past 4 years we just couldn't get over. I mean, hey, listen, man, my hat goes off to President Biden and the job he's doing. And if this is a preview of what's to come, then I can't wait for the rest of his term.
He overturned the military ban. He helped us with COVID. I mean, he's done so much. The LGBTQ community is at the table, and we're actually being served. You know, how incredible is that after the last 4 years of Cheeto Head, you know?
Two of the first LGBT Senate confirmed cabinet members in history, one of them being trans.
That's right.
You know, we're going to, for Pride Month, we're going to be flying pride flags at our embassies all over the world.
Yes.
We have an LGBTQ representative for President Biden and the White House that says, here are all the important issues to keep in front of you. The former most best LGBTQ president in history, which is what we heard for the next 4 years, is very interesting to me that he squeaks out practically in the middle of the night to Mar-a-Lago, and we inaugurate the most best LGBTQ president in history. And I'm including Obama in that phrase.
Well, it took Obama a little bit of time before he caught on. Like he was very kind of the middle of the road on gay issues to start with. Biden just came in swinging. And I like that he's balancing the executive orders with getting Congress to act to make lasting change. And I think that's very important.
What do y'all think about that it's not even the most obvious of the LGBT issues? Eddie, you're in advocacy of politics and civil rights for our community. What do you think about the observation that COVID-19 is a central LGBT issue? Because we have directly taken it on the chin in every possible way, including more than 40,000 LGBTQ Americans have died in the last 12 months. Full stop. And his turnaround of what's happening right now is, I'm going to get 100,000, I'm sorry, I'm going to get 100 million vaccination doses, and he actually gets 200 million vaccination doses.
Before the time.
How could that not affect the LGBTQ community any bigger?
Well, I mean, when I discussed our bubbles, you know, in the LGBT community, we don't always have our family as our bubble. We have our social scenes, and our social scenes have been shut down. I've lost many friends to suicide because they suddenly didn't have a social support system during COVID. So this is a very, very important thing for us to be able to get our lives back where we can see our chosen families and interact again and socialize again. So,
any other thoughts? The political voice at the table, and what do you think of the first 100 days?
I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And I think it's important to recognize that there's been very little done by the other major party in our country to support the work of healing our country, of helping to eradicate COVID and helping to jumpstart our economy. Once again, we see the GOP putting their feet on the brake, not wanting to even bring ideas to the table because they don't want President Biden to succeed. And he is succeeding without them. So I think what's really important here as well is to keep in mind that we're just 2 years away from a midterm election, and local elections have consequences too. And our state legislatures also matter. And Congress, we've lost seats in some of the more progressive states, and some of the more conservative states have actually picked up some seats. So to everybody listening, the battle before us is not over. President Biden needs your help. Congressional Democrats need your help because unfortunately the GOP is snoozing and they're focusing on wedge issues because they have no good ideas.
They have no good ideas. And you know the proof of that, interestingly, and I know I'm a geek, I beat you to the punch of the joke. At least once a week, I watch the 3 hour of power, as I call it. And that is Huey, Dewey, and Louie on Fox News at 8 and 9 and 10.
Oh, see, you and I are keeping the same company.
Yes, exactly.
God bless y'all. That's a lot to take on
Or
early.
perhaps Larry, Curly, and Moe, depending on how you define them. They have no ideas at all. So all they do for 3 hours is go, you know, that's it. It's a criticism. He's too old. He's not exciting. He's not fun. He's not. Wait, are you?
Well, not every president can pay off hookers.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. And Gabriel, one last thought on our 100 days. There is arguably in 100 days been no person in human history that has done more or spoken more about trans issues than the leadership of the Biden-Harris administration. Any reactions of the first 100 days for the trans community from your seat?
Honestly, I think he's doing a great job. He has lifted the transgender ban within like less than a month. Yeah, it was like a couple weeks, and it was already gone. Which the thing with Biden is that I feel like because of Obama, he was able to get more things done because people are already open to the idea. And so now Obama had the ideas, but Biden is actually putting everything into place, and he's doing it very, very, very quickly.
So you, like what has been said here, you give Biden lots of credit because of the groundwork that President Obama.
Correct. Yes, but Obama, there was only so much he can do. But now that everybody's like a lot more people are open-minded. So now when Biden is, you know, presenting something, they're like, yes, we're gonna stand behind it. But if Obama was not there, he couldn't have get it lift off.
Yeah. Well,
so I think he's doing a great job.
Before we move on, let's just take a moment. We went through 4 years where at Queer News Tonight, it was, and you know, at Queer News Tonight, it was like, every night, every night. We have to commit in the same way. We're at 99 tomorrow is 100. And when he speaks to the joint session tomorrow, all Fox News and the Republicans can say is, there's only 200 people in the room. Who cares?
He's using a teleprompter.
Issue.
He's using, right?
Let's have the equal zeal of the horror that we did last year in our celebration in what this first 100 days means for the LGBTQ community. Well, next up, there were lots of silly and important headlines in the news this week. So how about a lightning round? Let's discuss them in our segment Saved by the Bell. Again, as Faye tries to steal my bell, that's not. But there's a twist here, which I'm getting ready to show you. We're only going to discuss each one of these topics for just 1 minute. And at the end of the minute, you're going to hear this bell, as I said, I call it the Faye bell, to stop discussion. Oh, I don't mean yours, of course. Wrong. And move on. So, everybody understand what we're doing? Okay. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Well, The Bachelor figured out that The Bachelorette wasn't his cup of tea. Saved by the Bell headline number 1, Lance Bass says Colton Underwood is monetizing his coming out experience.
We told this story on Queer News Tonight on Monday, and I have to say that I changed my mind as to what I thought on Monday. Now I'm thinking that Lance Bass is just mad that they didn't give him a show.
That's what I was thinking too. I think Lance is a little jealous.
No, he actually has a show. I just saw it on Netflix
like a baking
today.
show or something.
No, The Circle, which is the best reality television.
My mom
Wow, what rating is that? The Circle with Lance Bass?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening
and
there.
they're using him as a catfish like component
Oh,
too.
wow.
So guys,
Generating his own content. Well, wait,
amazing.
Lance Bass, genius.
yeah.
Maybe
I take
Lance
back
just
what I
wants
said.
the credit for turning him gay to begin with, because
Oh.
during his NSYNC days, you know, maybe he's like, I should get a little credit over here.
Colton Underwood was an NFL player. He's one of the best friends of Tim Tebow. And that's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
So, Tim Tebow, when's your show?
Is it just me, I don't care that he's monetizing his explanation of coming out and gay.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming out experience is different. He is just so damn beautiful. He gets a pass on everything.
Oh, it's going to be like watching a
does
white
that make
person
me
spread
shallow?
mayonnaise on
No,
white
it does
bread.
make
It's
you
going to be the most
shallow.
boring thing ever.
Extremely shallow.
Okay, all right.
It
I'm
doesn't-
shallow.
doesn't make you
And I
shallow. You
love
already
it.
were.
Colton, I love it.
That was
All right. The gayest place on planet Earth, located in Florida. We're talking about Wilton Manors in Fort Lauderdale and South Florida. We're including you, Eddie. South Florida.
For Miami.
Located in Florida, is about to mandate outing trans kids. Saved by the Bell, headline number 2. Florida advances a bill that will out LGBTQ students in the schools.
Eddie, call me because I will be picketing. I
Let's
will be
go.
standing.
Come on,
I will
Chef.
be riding. Let's go.
You
Let's
know?
let's make us think of this because this is despicable. And any I want to know who's backing this. I want to know who introduced this bill. This is so. This is basically inhumane. Okay. And oh my God, it
Jeff,
makes
can
me
we just,
so
can we just
mad.
talk about some of the issues? Like, I don't know about y'all, but when I was in high school, in middle school, I love that I could go to a counselor and have certain things that are privileged conversations because I wasn't out.
Yeah.
So for my parents to hear that I was talking to my counselor about maybe liking guys or whatever, and when you take into account that some folks are being abused at home, there's sexual violence, and what they talk to a therapist about or a counselor, it should be privileged. I
Yes.
think that should
Super
remain.
dangerous.
Super dangerous.
And to the point of you saying super dangerous, when Arkansas passed the first ever, you can't provide health care to trans, and what they did, 4 suicides in the first month.
Yeah,
in
that's
the first month.
That's exactly what I'm afraid of is the increase in.
And that's what will happen.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Made it simple.
Has anybody else noticed that the GOP has absolutely no good ideas about stimulating the economy, creating jobs, getting people back to work?
Like what we need, right?
Instead, they're talking about transgender kids, attacking them, checking out the kids' junks.
Not letting them play sports.
Not letting them play sports.
This is
what
what
is
we're
going
going
on?
I remind you, all you need to do on Thursday night, usually Thursdays is the best, sometimes Friday, as I told you, tune into Larry, Curly, and Mo.
Oh, God.
8, 9, and
I just
10.
can't. I
can't
And
sit
that
for
is
3
what
hours
they
of that
talk
crap.
about for 3 hours. All right, let's move on.
My God.
Oh, I'll ring the bell.
No.
Newt Gingrich and Reverend Franklin Graham said this week that flying the rainbow flag across the world is, guess what? Un-American. Then they vomited all over themselves.
Sounds like something they're both into.
Yes, right. It's their sexual
kink.
fetish.
Yeah.
Right. Saved by the Bell, headline number 3. Biden has reversed Trump's ban on rainbow flags at U.S. embassies.
And I didn't say this line tonight on Queer News Tonight, but I'll say it now. When Roger Stone stops throwing bisexual swinger parties and Lady Graham stops hiring male escorts, they'll have room to talk.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm so proud of our country, and I love that we are a beacon of freedom once again. Let the colors fly.
Yes.
I am celebrating this.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it would be a problem because when it flies over, it's not going to make you gay or anything.
Yeah.
You see it. You just-
They don't want to see it at all. It's just un-American because it's being flown. And you know, at the end of the day, I tell you, for this June, there's only one place on the planet that I really care internationally. I'm thrilled that they're doing this, but I can't wait for the U.S. Embassy, Moscow, Russia.
Russia, yes.
To be
Yes.
flown.
I wanna
Yes.
see
Yeah.
that.
Do not forget our Russian LGBTQ
No.
That's right.
brothers and sisters at all. Radical, we're kind of developing a theme here. Radical Republicans in 12 state houses believe we have a national crisis. Have you heard what it's about? You know, it's trans kids playing kickball or having access to medicines. Saved by the Bell, headline number 4. Crisis. Our LGBTQ advocates, including SAVE and organizations across the country, are warning us of unprecedented wave of anti-LGBTQ bills coming. What do y'all think?
I have something to say about that, honestly.
Okay.
When, let's say, a transgender male to female person, if they want to do, I want to say, a sport, right? They are now taking estrogen. They're not going to perform as a male. Their muscle mass is going to,
The American
Wait, they
Medical Association has come out and said that exact point,
Yeah.
and that legislators should stay completely out of this because you are dangerously stepping into medical advice that is completely wrong. The science does not support what
I'm
you're
telling
saying,
you,
which
look
is-
at, for me, they're gonna see me and you side by side. Ready? Do you think that it is unfair for me and you to compete in any sport? I'll say, right? Well, not football. I'm very good at football. But do you think that I have an advantage
that's
over
not
you?
a fair
But
question
I'm
because you
saying,
haven't seen David run down a football.
you're right.
You know, I do love
you're
a tight
right.
end.
Hey, you know what? And a good wide receiver is
Well, that's
Second, before you ring that bell,
Wow.
I want to talk about the current theme, y'all, because they're trying to distract once again. They have no good policy ideas. They're focusing on our kids,
Yep.
and they're using it as a wedge issue so they can use it as a scare tactic with their base, because all their base is doing is watching the TV shows you're talking about. So they have no good ideas. They're attacking children. They have no good ideas about how to get out of this economic crisis that we're in, and instead they focus on wanting to look at kids and their genitalia, or attacking kids that are already so vulnerable. Let's keep coming back to that. It's not even, they don't even have a valid point.
But that doesn't
It's
even
like
make
the
sense.
stupid bathroom bill. Oh, you want your wife in the bathroom with Gabe? Because, you know, she may
You're
not
like,
come out.
they don't come out.
Wait, maybe.
They
They don't come
Did
out.
I just hear a dick joke? I think I did hear a dick joke. Very good. All right. Next up, theme. It's in the news this week. There's lots of this news. 40% of trans people and 62% of trans women of color have turned to sex work for survival at one point in their lives. Saved by the Bell, headline number 5. Manhattan this week says we are completely stopping prosecuting sex workers. And advocates say it is a monumental step in the advocacy for trans people in New York. What do y'all think?
The criminalization of sex work is very important. And I think it's also really important to distinguish between chosen sex work and survival prostitution, right?
exactly.
Because survival prostitution breaks my heart. It's another form of human trafficking in essence.
Slavery.
And slavery. So chosen sex work, there's a distinction. However, it is important to still remember there are people who call it sex work, but they have landed in this space because of survival, because they have no family, no other way to make money. So you know what? Yeah, I think stop criminalizing the sex workers, because there's Johns that are paying the money for it, and they're typically blue-collar, wealthy men, cis men, who like to go spend their money. And so who gets to go to jail and have their life ruined? The sex worker. In this case, a lot of transgender women of color.
It's very true. I used to go to like transgender meetings, and there was a lot of women there that were, you know, either doing it now or in the past, and that was the only way they can survive, because nobody, it's not like they're not trying to find a job. They will go into a place, do everything, interview. People will look at them and be like, you're a man, girl.
Well, then imagine
hiring
getting
you.
arrested
So
and
it's-
having that on your record and not being
That
able
also-
to get a job.
That's right.
Yeah, but just them going into somewhere and trying to get a job, somebody's gonna look at them and be like, no. That's exactly why. Like, it's the same way that when I go somewhere and apply for a job and I'm like, oh, everybody is, you know, a white male, I'm not gonna get this job, and I know it. You know,
That's
and
not,
it's
that's not
the
necessarily
gravity-
true, but
No.
okay, that's not
it's the
necessarily.
gravity of the
Honestly-
situation. People hire people off how they look. So if you don't fit, you know, what people want to
Famously,
see, then
Misty Eye's first appearance at It's Happening Out, she made a comment that said, overwhelmingly from her peer group, her age peer group, and we always have to clarify that, were involved in sex work, and they had to do it. And cis, white, gay, privileged guy from outside of this community tried to save her in my attempt of going, wait, you're misspeaking. Let me help correct you. And I corrected and started to re-clarify what the trans woman at the table was saying. And she turned and basically clocked me to a stop and said, no. I'm talking almost every single person in my circle of my age have had to do it. And they explained that exact reason. They can't be employed. They're rejected. their friends, 50 different things, 50 different reasons that I can insert there, and that this is work of last resort.
And it's not based on their skill either, because they can be the most qualified, but once you look at them, they're going to be like, nope, we don't want. You know?
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, New York. You've helped a lot of people.
And they're also going to reverse a bunch.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
people
a
can-
connection.
so
All the way
people-
to
so
the
people-
70s.
So people will
Large
be able
goal.
to get,
Amazing work.
positions
Get
in the
jobs,
future.
so they
Yeah,
don't have
so
records
important.
for it.
Conversation should continue.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right.
Mm-hmm.
One of the world's most prestigious news organizations. Gosh, we have had really a theme. I just didn't realize this. One of the world's most prestigious news organizations in the entire world had a historic change this week. Saved by the Bell, headline number 6, Reuters. It is the platinum standard in the world, not a country, worldwide. Their new executive director, just hired, Gina Chua, is the first trans person to lead a major media company in the world,
that's
making
amazing.
her one of the most important news voices on this planet.
That's awesome.
I love that.
It's earth-shaking.
That's awesome.
What do y'all think?
I think it's about time somebody's voice got heard on an international scale. End of story.
No, but this appointment, okay, this woman who has risen to this position to not only be a trailblazer, but also the influence that this person is going to have in what we are, all of the world is processing, because they have to like just drop it into the water, the water, and man, that makes me sleep so much better tonight.
Well, and she's been kicking ass for a long time. She's worked there for a very long time.
I just returned to Gabriel's point about the trans actress and the Pixar of the reaction it's going to be. Reuters has said, screw y'all dudes, and girls and non-binary, we don't care what.
We are the news.
We are the news, exactly.
I think that's awesome, especially her being a trans woman, because I think that trans women have a lot harder time than a trans guy does. So congrats. I think that's a major milestone.
Yeah. All right, absolutely amazing. And I want to drop something in that I didn't want you to hear. He was the editor of the Wall Street Journal. The senior editor of the Wall Street Journal was moved to Wall Street Journal Asia and did not transition until 2019. So this hire has been on watching a transition in the last 14 months and still said, that's the person for Reuters.
I love it. Visibility matters.
It absolutely
Thank you, Reuters.
matters.
Yes.
Reuters.
Wonderful. Leadership.
Jeez.
Corporate leadership.
I hope you hear our conversation at the table, because really the entire LGBTQ America would be saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, wow.
All right, let's move on. Our final Saved by the Bell. Steven Spielberg.
That's it.
We're done. Well, West Side Story is coming in film, and it's coming this Christmas.
Oh.
But let me tell you something about it, which you might, especially you Gen Zers and millennials, might not know. In 1955, perhaps the most iconic creative team in history was assembled on this secret Romeo and Juliet Broadway musical story. Leonard Bernstein, Stephen Sondheim, Arthur Lawrence, Jerome Robbins. I just did the first 4 books of the Bible in names. They created this masterpiece about 2 all-male gangs in New York. The little-known secret was the 4 were all, you guessed it, gay men. And 14 years before the Stonewall riots, they told a secret love story in the only way that they could do in 1955. The iconic song that was written somewhere, go and read the lyrics, because it became an anthem for all of us in the LGBTQ community that would not become public for decades. Our young LGBTQ community is probably not even aware of West Side Story. These 4 gay men, or the ground that they set up for all of us, secretly. Watch this.
Sing it
Love
out.
to a room in America.
Live, we're live.
Everyone's on camera watching. But we do not hear volume.
I wasn't kidding when I said to sing it out.
Oh.
This is going to be amazing.
Oh my God, I'm so
You know, it doesn't
excited.
even need the music, right? It's still so powerful, just like this.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Steven Spielberg. I mean, how? Wow. Can I tell you that I hated the Oscars from beginning to end, except for this? Well, and Glenn Close doing the butt.
Oh.
My God, look at this.
You know what I want to say about this? More of the younger people might know about this because we were forced to see it in school. I've probably seen this movie like 4 times in school.
Oh, you haven't seen this movie. This is
No,
the
well, not this one, but like the original one. Maria. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Buying on
this
credit
movie
is so
again.
nice. They look at us once, they charge us twice. Yeah.
But can you guys imagine?
Substitute teacher. This is going on.
Imagine these people in the 50s trying to bring this incredible story to life, but not being able to have it be the love of 2 men.
Well,
You know,
And
Just-
based on a popular story also.
Gabriel mentioned The Little Mermaid earlier, and that was a love story from Hans Christian Andersen to his gay lover.
All right, well, our final, Saved by the Bell, headline number 7. Spielberg's West Side Story leaves LGBTQ America breathless. Any final thoughts about what we just watched and what we're getting ready to see? The lead, Maria, by the way, first time ever acting.
Oh, wow.
Never has acted before, and I draw back to the 1961 film. Rita Moreno became the first Latina actress to win the Academy Award in the supporting role. Remember who played Maria, the Latina girl from Puerto Rico?
the white girl.
White Natalie Wood.
Yeah, it's funny when a
Couldn't
movie's
do
all
it.
about Puerto Ricans with one Puerto Rican in it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't even give Rita Moreno the lead, you know,
No.
because in that time she was brown. You know, you can't give her the lead.
When is this supposed to?
Christmas.
Oh, in
Yeah,
Christmas.
yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Is
Yeah.
that a date now?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. Yes.
It's just
Squad dates.
Yes, squad date. Let's do it.
Exactly. All right. Well, we do homage to it. And if you're not familiar with West Side Story, go back and watch the movie, but watch it from the standpoint of Google those 4 names. Google it. Imagine in 1955 the secret story that they were trying to tell when they wrote the anthem Somewhere. I just can't tell you how important it is for the LGBTQ community. Well, finally tonight, something completely different. We are the LGBTQ community. Does anybody know what that also means?
Sex!
It means let's have some sex and relationships. So let's play a game. Our game asks, who would you do? What would you do? What would you do?
My God.
And,
Yikes.
And why you would do it, I guess. Well, tonight our game is called Shag, Marry, Chop, and of course we've played it for a long time. Our theme is LGBTQ singers we love, and we're doing the non-binary Sam Smith. And the recently Leather Daddy photo on Sean Magazine of Ricky Martin. If you haven't seen that, look it up. And of course, the effervescent Adam Lambert. So let's play Shag, Marry, Chop, and Faye. Let's start with you.
All right, so I'm gonna shag Sam Smith. I'm liking that new tattoo of the 2 boys and everything, and I love him. I love him, and he could probably sing, and they could probably sing to me or something like that. I'll be all about it, right? While we have sex. I'm gonna marry Ricky Martin because 2 Boricuas together is just love, baby. It's just love
And loud.
and loud. But I will change his beard back to what it was.
Oh, it's
none
blonde.
Of none
Have
of
you
this
seen
blonde
that? Have you
stuff
seen his
when
blonde
we
beard?
get married. None of the blonde stuff. All right.
Come
I
on, Ricky.
want Les Mis Ricky. You know what I mean? All right.
Ooh.
And so then that means I have to chop Adam Lambert because I got to be the pretty one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, his eyeliner is better than yours.
It really is, isn't it? Like, no puedo.
Right, exactly. Oh, wait, what did you just say?
No puedo.
I can't.
You can't.
I
I could. Oh, I thought it was a lot worse. Really, I was expecting
can't.
a lot
I can't.
worse. And Chef Josie, who would you shag?
Okay, let's just get it like right now. Put it on the table. I'm totally shagging Ricky Martin. Okay, like because
Shebang,
he looks
shebang.
like, you know, shebang, okay? But I'm probably going to marry, and this is so wild, but I'm going to
Do it.
I'm just going to marry Sam. And I'm going to tell you because I listen to Sam Smith when I'm driving by myself all the time, and I love his music so much.
Oh, that's sweet.
Artistically, he's like amazing.
So you
and
want him to soothe you to sleep, but he's not necessarily that sexually exciting.
that creative, and I love his music,
Yeah.
so I know that
get
he
it.
also has a good taste in music, so that will be what's blaring in
So
the
it
house.
won't matter because you're hurting Ricky Martin, and he's going to soothe you after.
Soothe me after.
I understand.
And then, unfortunately, even though I've hung out with Adam Lambert in New York City,
Okay, Al.
I can't do Adam Lambert because it's, you know, again, I'm a little bit older now. He's more of I think he's a millennial or maybe even a Gen Zer.
Yeah, no, he's a millennial.
He's a millennial, but he's a young millennial. So I'm kind of done with my millennial.
Yeah,
I mean, not really. But
You're
this
you know,
week.
done with the
For this week.
immaturity.
It's just done, right?
Somebody write that down. I'm going to put that back in front of her probably in the next 3 days.
No, you got to be a Gen Zer if you want to hang out with me, okay?
What is the age
Did I?
cutoff?
You
for
know,
Gen Z?
she's a chef. She needs the fresh fish.
Oh, dear.
Goodness, can I get more shots?
And,
Thank you.
Eddie, tell us who you're going to shag.
Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna shag Adam Lambert.
I knew it.
Whoa, Al, get out of my
knew
head.
it.
So you have no idea what's happening in there. Okay?
Oh, yes, I
Lots. So yes, and I
do.
think.
Wait, do you want me to diagram it out for you all?
PowerPoint.
No.
That's the bonus.
I have a PowerPoint presentation already here. Here's what Eddie's first move
That's
will
gonna be
be.
behind the scenes, folks. Make sure you ring the bell and subscribe. For
That's where you get all that extra
That's
stuff.
right. Subscribe. All right. So then, what's next? Who am I
Marry.
marrying? All right. So I think I'm definitely gonna marry Ricky.
Yes, of course you
You
are.
look related. I would want.
You know,
Judging you. I promise you, I'm not judging you.
there'd be a lot in common, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So yeah, it's a stimulating conversation for me, as the Gen Zers would say.
I haven't met Ricky Martin, but I imagine he is very bright.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do
and he's,
imagine.
and he's well spoken.
And I don't need him to sing to me. I prefer that he does.
What he went through
Yeah.
to survive Madonna and then the marriage and the children, and he has to be bright.
And then lastly, I think I'd have to just axe our friend Sam Smith. I just feel like anything else,
So
I
the
love his
lullaby
voice
in
for
your
singing.
ear that Josie's listening to doesn't work for you as well.
No, I
It's
don't
because
think-
our relationship would be platonic, and then we would be able to live
Yeah,
our
well,
life.
see,
you
that's
know.
what Eddie's telling
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it would be definitely.
basically
It's
it.
like.
Sounds like a marriage, all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. All right, I got it.
Not
And
my
Gabriel,
marriage. No way.
my marriage. I
So
want
if
you to
any
write
of the
that
three
down
would
for
like
me.
to get married, please hit me up. I'll consider all three.
Exactly. And Gabriel, who are you going to shag? First time playing Shag, Marry, Drop.
Well, I guess if I had to pick one, shag, I think. And what's the other one? Mary, you said?
Yeah.
And then
Probably
Mary, John.
Adam Lambert for shag.
Okay.
Really?
Just because
Why?
I don't know, he looks fun. If I'm gonna
Oh, he's
do it with a
fun.
guy,
Fun
he
sex.
looks super fun.
He
So,
is
you know.
fun.
Are you into creative guys that?
Not really. He just,
Do you have to be the center of attention?
Yes, all the time.
Oh, you
All
don't
day.
That
want
one
that.
was.
That's why Adam's one.
That's
Shag
That's
it
exactly
is.
why.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
That's why you're shagging.
Shag
Got
them.
it.
So if I had to choose, and then if I had to marry somebody, I guess Ricky Martin, because Sam Smith, I feel like he's really emotional. I don't want to cry. You know?
Can you imagine? You have a fight,
has
you have a
money.
ballad.
Just
Ricky
one
has
sec.
money.
Let me slowly and dramatically turn to Josie and go. Oh, do you want to just cry? Is that-
I'm in touch with my feelings.
You're
Yeah, I feel like if
Vulnerability
you know,
is power.
Exactly.
That's
In the time that we have done this, Josie and I have changed a lot. We have changed a lot. All right, I got it. And David Hopkins, who are you? Now we go dark.
Well,
Who are you
no. I mean, you know, I'm a kinky bitch, so I'm shagging Ricky Martin because it's buy one get one with that sexy ass husband of his. So we could explore all kinds of funness for a few hours. Marry actually Sam Smith, because I feel like following their Instagram
Really?
and their social media, they are a very fun, spirited person. They are very, emotional, but they get through their art. But they just like to be goofy and silly, and I think Sam would be a great pup who I could have in my life. So I would call her Sam and marry him. And I feel like Adam's a lot of flash and no bang. So I'd have to chop him.
Okay.
All right.
I've seen him in concert multiples of times, and I would never say he's a lot of flash and no bang. He brings it.
He's banging.
Yeah.
I love all their music. That's had nothing to do with their music.
Wait,
It's
Al,
just-
what's yours?
Wow, didn't expect that one, huh? Who? Where are we?
Actually, Adam Lambert would be a little different. He's a little effeminate for me, but it'd be fun to try. Ricky Martin, no question. He would be super interesting, and Sam Smith, I would want to be friends with. So I'm going to chop him just to be a friend. That's his name.
I mean, why don't you just marry him? You've been married to Chuck for 35 years.
Wow, pick
Okay. All
up your
right.
mouth out.
Wow.
Thank you for joining. It's happening out. We'll see you never again. All right. No, all right. Well, let's move on. Before we end the show, let's introduce our sponsor. Vanna White here is going to help me.
It's Vanna Brown. Vanna Brown.
Vanna Brown. That's pizza. If you're coming to South Florida and you've got to try this pizza, it's really, really good. We are going to get ready to do it. It's the choice for the LGBTQ community here in South Florida. Jet's Pizza. Eddie has already consumed one of them before the show even started.
I'm glad
On my work
The whole
desk.
entire
I'm
pizza.
glad there were 2 boxes. That way y'all get some afterwards.
Yeah, and the
So good.
and the rest of us finally get a piece. Thank you, Eddie, for
We got their
sharing.
cinnamon
Hey,
sticks
thank you,
tonight
Jets.
as well.
Love it.
They're
Thank
amazing.
you, thank you.
Exactly. All right, well, that's it, America. Another week with you and the world's first and most popular LGBTQ talk show. But before we sign off, let's hear from our hosts for one final good night. A message from each of them. And let's begin a good night from Faye What?
Hey, what? So another wonderful Wednesday. I love to sit around this table now that we're all vaccinated and just like be together. There's no other show like this, so make sure you keep on coming back and invite your friends. On Monday and Wednesday, I get to be with white privilege, right? Al Ferguson at Queer News Tonight. Make sure you catch us there. And then, of course, we've got happening out that travel with my my travel partner, Mr. David
The other white
Hopkins.
guy.
The other white guy. The other white guy I hang out with for you, America.
Really?
This is what
It's
I
hard
do.
for you? Yeah, it's really
no,
hard.
it's not hard now, but maybe later. All right.
Okay. And
Not so close to
a
Gabriel.
good night from
Maybe
Chef
now.
Josie.
Hey, well, I just want to say good night, you guys. Thank you for always coming to this table and joining us in some really important conversation about our community. I hope you enjoy all of our perspectives. And if you're ever here in Wilton Manors, don't forget to come and stop by Bubbles and Pearls and let us feed you. Or check me out on the DJ 1s and 2s under my alter ego of Lady Snag Daddy at Hunters or Cubs. And until next week, you guys stay safe, stay positive, and stay open to the world of possibility.
Nicely said. And a good night from Eddie Marti Kring.
Hey everybody, all right, so to all of our gay brothers and sisters, our siblings, our LGBTQ siblings rather, it's a new word that I'm using to be more inclusive. I want to tell you to stay strong, stay connected, plug in. I know there's so much going on in so many of us, whether we're in different parts of the world, depending on what's happening, we feel like we may be alone, but you are not. Find ways to plug in, even it's with a broader virtual community. If you're here in South Florida, join SAVE, save.lgbt, and come volunteer with us. We're going to be knocking on doors, helping to elect pro-equality candidates, and there's a lot of ways that you can make a difference, not only here in South Florida, but across the world. Stay strong.
Absolutely. And first time host at It's Happening Out. You've done a great job. I've learned a lot about you. Good night from Gabriel Pabon.
Me. I thought it was gonna be this guy. I'm like, oh. But you guys, it was great being here. I just want to tell everybody have a great night, rest of your week. Everybody, male, female, straight, gay, everybody in between. Protect yourself and just be smart. Just stay safe and.
And where do we find your stuff?
Oh, you can find me. You can actually add me on Instagram at PABOGA1 Pabuga, or you can sell my underwear, buy my underwear at gmpwearonline.com. You can also find me on YouTube where I make a fool of myself, and I also teach about, transitioning and how to get doctors and whatnot. So look at this. He's so.
In that picture, he
Come
looks
on,
like
man. Why you keep
he
doing
looks
this to
like
me?
David Hopkins' keychain. He looks like he's his keychain, his llavero, right? Doesn't he look like his llavero?
If I go on his
next time
back,
you
I'm like a
come,
backpack.
we'll fix that. We'll reduce David down to the floor. Yeah, exactly. All right, and you've been very welcome
Adorable.
here. It's happening. And finally, a good night from David Hopkins.
You know, I've mentioned bubbles before. Find your bubble, feel safe in it, but make sure you keep an eye on the people outside because they may not have a bubble that they're safe in. Everyone needs our support, our protection, and to be part of something. So, keep an eye on everyone out there.
All right, so America, South Florida, is what you watched tonight important to you? You've sat right here at the kitchen table, the LGBTQ kitchen table, right along with us. We will see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. And we are already getting ready to make the most, wait, let me start that again. Because it's important. You want to make sure that you tune in next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. because we are getting ready to make the most significant announcement next Wednesday in our show's history. That's a big statement, and we're going to deliver. Watch this space. Remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America. Good night, Florida.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.